Just a really quick one for you about a card called Overclock. Overclock is a one-cost event. Place 5 credits on the event, and then you run any server, and you can spend the hosted credits during that run. Overclock's got a few different uses to it, and I just kind of want to show you kind of 2-3 different things that you can do with Overclock that you might find useful. The most obvious thing to do with Overclock is to use it to help you break ice. So we could make a run here, go and run onto HQ. We get a res maybe. Let's see what we get. We've got a drafter. Okay, so I can use the money from Overclock to go and find my program and use it to go and break this ice. So it cost me 2. I can use the credits from that, and then I can go and get the breaker that I want, and I can actually use the credits to install the breaker as well. So now I've gone and got my breaker and installed it, and it only cost me 1 of my real credits to actually use. I could encounter the ice, then break it and carry on from there. But Overclock's done its job. It's basically given me 4 credits whilst I was making a run, which is really powerful, is really useful. But there's a couple of other things you can do with Overclock as well that maybe aren't sort of immediately obvious, basically. I'm against CTM. They've got this commercial bankers group here that I really want to go and trash. It's a really powerful asset. I could just use Overclock to go in, approach server 4, pay 2 to trash, and I can use the credits from Overclock to trash it. And then CTM's ability fires, and I'm still in a run. Overclock just says place 5 on the event, then run the server. You can spend hosted credits during the run. So here, if CTM trace me, and they trace 4, well, I've still got 3 credits left over on Overclock. So it's only cost me 1 real credit to actually beat that trace. So it's let me get around CTM's ability a little bit just using that card. There's a couple of other things you might want to do as well, depending on the situation in the game. You might have something like this. You might have a tag, and maybe you want to go and fetch something, not for that run, but for something you want to use in the future. So in this case, I might decide, actually, do you know what? I'm going to get tagged by CTM here. I'm going to play Overclock. I'm going to go for server 4 again. But this time, before I actually hit the server, I know that it's only going to cost me 2 credits to trash Commercial Bankers Group. And I'm going to get another tag. But I've got 5 credits on Overclock. So why don't I go and do something with those credits that's going to be useful for me in a future turn? Against CTM, it might be really useful for me to go and find a program called Misdirection. And that cost me 2 credits to use self-modifying code to go and get it. I can't use Misdirection during a run, but that's fine. I can use it in a future turn. Now I can breach the server. Now I can pay 2 to trash, use the spare credits from there. There's 1 still remaining. We'll see what the CTM deck does here. They just trace 4, and I decide, actually, do you know what? I'm just going to let that go at this point here. And now I've got my Misdirection ready that I could use in the future. You could go and fetch a program that you want to use in a future turn. You could go and get a Manto. You could go and get Rozeki. You could do a whole bunch of different things with it. Overclocker is a really cool card. So there's just 4 different things that you could go and do with this card.